Cummings here, musical director of the London Handel Festival, and welcome to the first of our rehearsals for our virtual Messiah. This week it's the turn of And the Glory of the Lord, the first chorus in Messiah. But before we get down to things, I'd like to just do a little warm-up. So, if you could make sure that you're standing and that your feet are fully engaged with the floor. Wiggle your toes, maybe do a few ups and downs with your heels just to check you're finding your equilibrium there. And then we should be kind to our feet because they're very good to us, and I think we don't think about them enough, so they're our roots, aren't they really? And then slightly bend your knees, and that should bring your awareness to your hips, and just make sure you're not sitting on one hip or the other, that you're keeping nice and fluid. And in turn that brings us to our shoulders, and you could perhaps just raise your shoulders a little bit, don't do anything too dramatic, but just raise them a little and then release them. And then think about your neck, just do whatever feels comfortable to make sure that's nice and loose. And just returning to our shoulders, can you imagine you've got pencils sticking out on either side of your shoulders, and you're in a narrow corridor, and you're just going to draw little circles on the walls. Which is a bit naughty really, but I'm sure we can rub them out afterwards. And the circles get bigger and bigger and then smaller again. And then let's do that the other way around. You can change colour of your pencil and the circles get bigger and bigger until they're quite big, and then let them get smaller again, and hopefully your shoulders are landing slightly lower down than they were to start with. Now let's get some breathing, some post-lockdown breathing. So let's breathe all the way in and out. So make sure you're feeling your lungs expand on both sides, okay? In, 2, 3, out, 2, 3. In, 2, 3, out, 2, 3. Okay, keep on breathing. I'm going to talk us through our vocal warm-ups now. Now, just to loosen everything up a bit, I'd like to do something quite messy. So, make sure, it doesn't matter if it feels a little low, sopranos and tenors, just release the voice. Okay, and really go every little bit of oily crack on the surface on the way up from the one note to the other. So I will say this is the bit that's like hippos in mud. Okay, so just feel really down and dirty with it. Excellent. Now, we suddenly remember that we're preparing for a Baroque piece, Messiah, so we want to articulate. La 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 la. So have a go at that, and la 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 la. Very good. And then we'll do an arpeggio, so and if you could, bend your knees just as you go over the top, so it's because I'm sitting down, but if you bend your knees as you just sail over the top of the arpeggio. Now we're going to put those three together. So if you remember, it's la 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 la. Great, and then we'll go up in semitones to warm the voice up. So I'll try and be clear, stick with me. La 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 la. La 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 la. Little faster la. La 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 la. La. La 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 la. Altos and basses you can drop out now. La. La 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 la. Marvellous. Consider yourselves warm up. I'll be back in a second to talk about "And the Glory." And so we come to our first chorus, "And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed." Now let's just think for a moment about the context of this chorus. We've had the overture, a solemn start, and then quite a busy fugal allegro. And then the tenor, who you could say serves the role as evangelist in this piece, comes and announces something. "Comfort ye, my people, saith your God. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned. The voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our God." So, echoes of John the Baptist, or pre-echoes, because it's from Isaiah in the Old Testament, of John the Baptist. "And then every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill made low." The world is going to be turned upside down. And we then say, "And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. For the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it, So, it's epic stuff, really exciting. And Handel chooses to have the tenor aria finish in E major, so he set that in, and then we come in A major. So it's a very jubilant key, and there are two things going on here. First of all, it's in 3-time, and Baroque composers are never very far away from the dance floor, and here we have a beautiful minuet. So the minuet in beats of 6, so for us that's 2 bars. 2 bars is one set of minuet steps. And it helps us to remember, I think, that when you dance in Baroque dancing, every downbeat is a spring. So everything's going up. So never feel earthbound in this chorus. And then the other thing I really wanted to talk about was rhetoric. So rhetoric was something that the Baroque composers, again, were steeped in. And it's the art of persuasion, the art of persuading the listener of your argument. And one of the best tools of rhetoric is, of course, repetition, of which, as you will all know, having attempted to sing Handel choruses in oratorios, there's a lot of repetition. But of course, it's a gift because it means you have to renew the thought every time you have the text. So never allow yourself to have the same thought in a row when you repeat something. So we already have a choice at the beginning here, and the glory. It's so glorious that he can't just say it, he has to say it again. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, is how it goes on. So, can I suggest that we all give a lovely gl to the first glory, and then go for the Lord in the second bit of the sentence. So that'll work out altos for you. And the glory of the Lord. And then make sure the D is really clear on the next downbeat. And for sopranos, tenors and basses, when you come in, it's the same thing. And the glory of the Lord. And then put the D really clearly on that third beat. Except tenors U. I think you can carry on there. Glory of the Lord shall be revealed. And then hand on. The way to do that is to just slightly phrase off at the end. Veiled. And then that gives it to the next part. So basses you interrupt, shall be revealed, and sopranos you too, shall be revealed, and the glory of the Lord. Tenors you come in for your next entry, and so it goes on. And just, I know it's very difficult when you're not together, but try and be aware of when you're passing on things to the different parts and when you're actually duetting. So there's that lovely moment from bar 28 where altos, you're duetting with the tenors, and they're going, shall be revealed. And then for those who have letter A, this is the electric light bulb moment. Suddenly we all come in together. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed. And can I suggest here, it's just after letter A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars, that we put the D on the third beat. Revealed. So we take a crotchet out of that note. Great. And then going on, the alto phrase at bar 43, can we have it nice and phrased? So really shape it. And all flesh shall see it together. So there are two things. You're having a little melodic repetition, but of course it's new text. And all flesh shall see it together. So don't give an accent on every single bar. Go to flesh and together, I think. And all flesh shall see it together. And then tenors, you reply, and all flesh shall see it together. And then, tenors and basses, can we have 25 Fs before? For the mouth. And a really clear articulation. And it can be sort of a little bit like a laser beam. For the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. And again, we'll all put that crotchet rest in there. I'll come back to that in a moment, because that's the tenors and basses with their sort of cantus firmus like plain song underneath, and then sopranos and altos, third of letter B, and all flesh shall see it together, and then that's the bar. It's actually bar 57, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bars after B. We take another crotchet out, so sopranos, you can take a really good breath for your for the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. And then a really nice clear T on the end there. So that all works. Going back to letter B, you've got your 25 Fs, tenors and basses. For the mouth and all flesh shall see it together. For the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. For sopranos and altos, tenors and basses, we interrupt the sopranos. For the mouth and all flesh shall see it together. We actually make a lovely modulation on the together there, and we are beautifully, we hope, anyway, together. So word painting, another element of rhetoric there. So altos, tenors and basses from bar 59 is something like this. 2, 3, 1. And all flesh shall see it together. And then we go off into our discursive moments again, where we're having our little parts, and they're even more fragmented this time. And all flesh, and all flesh, and all flesh shall see it together. And then basses, you have to do the real donkey work on the for the mouth here, because the tenors only join you on the. Okay? So back a few bars to bar 63, you've got altos. And all flesh shall see it together. And all flesh shall see it together. Okay. And then on that last together, which is bar 73, let's also take a crotchet out. So it's actually only 2 beats long. Gather off. Good. So, at letter C, basses and tenors, it's bar 68. For the mouth of the Lord T really clearly on the third beat, tenors and basses. Okay. Now, the next little bit I'd like to do as a hushed whisper. So the secret of singing quietly is to do 10 times more text. So this is bar 76 I'm talking about. And the glory of the Lord. And then after this moment, we can all allow ourselves just to crescendo a little bit more and get ever excited. So, bar 76. And the glory of the Lord, and all flesh shall see it together. The mouth. So sopranos, you're forte and loud and clear by the time you get to letter D. Great, so I'll just cover that a moment, maybe looking at another part. Let's look at the tenor part. This is bar 76. 2, 3, 1. And the glory of the Lord, and all flesh shall see it together. Good. And then altos, you support the sopranos underneath their lovely long F sharp. The mouth, and you're singing, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed. So really join that text up, because it's now no longer fragmented and we get the whole sentence in one go. So, sopranos, you're on your high F sharp, and make sure you're thinking that you're already up there. So my usual analogy is that you're trying to get the breakfast cereal out of the top cupboard, and rather than reaching up for it, you stand on your stepladder, so you're actually reaching down for it. The mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. So from letter D, it's 1, 2. The mouth of the Lord hath spoken shall be revealed, and all flesh, and all flesh, and all flesh. For the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it, hath spoken it. Yeah. And now we divide into our separate parts. Sopranos, altos, and then together tenors and basses. So, tenors and basses. And the glory of the Lord. So, thinking about our rhetorical message, we've got a repetition already. And the glory of the Lord. So I suggest we go for the first gl of glory, and then for the l of Lord. So, your first entry, and the glory of the Lord. Now, here, basses, you need to be very clear that the D is on the third beat. And the glory of the Lord. On off. Tenors, you can cheat a bit. You don't even need to put the D in, perhaps. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed. So we continue that in that vein. So let's have a go at that. This is the alto entry at bar 11. And the glory of the Lord, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed. And this time with the bass part. Me singing the bass part, I mean. And the glory of the Lord, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, shall be revealed. And tenors, you cut across that. And the glory of the Lord. On the D this time comes on the first beat of the next bar. And then tenors, you continue, shall be revealed. So let's do all that thus far. Again, going back to the alto entry at bar 11. And the glory of the Lord, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and the Lord shall be revealed. This moment is a shot of electricity through the whole thing, because suddenly the whole choir comes in together with the same text at the same time. So for you tenors, it's and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed. And then if that could be 2 beats and a crotchet rest, So 2 beats of lead, and then a crotchet on the rest, 1 beat on the rest. So bass is you there. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed. Good. And what happens? There is a hemiola. So the thing we talked about at the beginning of this being a minuet, it's a dance in 3, and suddenly the beats become big. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1. So, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed. So you have a slightly broader, uplifting feel to the end of that phrase. So straight in at letter A, tenors, basses. 1, 2, 3, 1. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed. And then things fragment. Tenors, we echo the altos. And all flesh shall see it together. And then tenors and basses together. 25 Fs for the mouth. And using this rhetorical feature, repetition of a note to really command attention. For the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. And again, if that it could be 2 beats long with a 1 beat rest. So a minim on it and a crotchet rest. Let's put that together. So this is from the alto entry bar 43. Get ready to echo them tenors. And all flesh shall see it together. And all flesh shall see it together. For the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. Okay, and then very clear. And then, and all flesh shall see it together. Nice little modulation to that D major. And there. So bass is yours is, and all flesh shall see it together. Lovely, rising up to that D and coming down. So this is from the soprano entry, bar 58. For the mouth and all flesh shall see it together. And all flesh shall see it together. For the mouth. And here, basses, you have to do all the Fs. For, because the tenors are finishing off their previous phrase and they only join you on the mouth. But that'll be really clear. Lord hath spoken it. So, tenors, let's go back, tenors and basses, to bar 63, the alto entry. 2, 3, 1. And all flesh shall see it together. For the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. And again, you guessed it, 2 beats and 1 beat rest. So minim on it, crotchet rest. It. Then this next bit, I'd love it to be mezzo piano, so we do it in stage whisper. And the glory of the Lord. And the thing with whispering, with piano singing, is to use even more text to make it really, really clear. And the glory of the Lord. And then this next bit can crescendo. And all flesh shall see it together. So we get louder, so the sopranos are loud by the time they have their high F sharp. So let's try this mezzo piano now. This is from bar 73, the orchestral in ritornello. And the glory of the Lord, and all flesh shall see it together. And all flesh shall see it together. The glory of the Lord. Good. And another hemiola there. So tenors and basses from bar 89. Just have little echoing phrases and make sure, even though the notes go down, the thought goes up. Excuse me. And all flesh shall see it. Okay, so we get that. And all flesh shall see it together. Sorry, I was saying the wrong note. This is from bar 88, from the alto entry. Shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. let's just go from Your Glory at bar 95 with the upbeat. So 1, 2. The glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh. Sorry, I committed a cardinal error there. Tell us it's just one beat on lead. Lead and off, otherwise it clashes with our next harmony. Sorry about that. And then and all flesh shall see it together. We just had those little lovely phrases coming together. With the backing band for the sopranos again at bar 110. And the glory of the Lord. Some more fragmented phrases. And again, we support the very serious message of the sopranos and altos towards the end. So let's just do that last section. This is going now, please, from bar 110. So the sopranos, just 2 bars before that, have their sailing up to their high A. And the glory of the Lord, basses shall be revealed, tenors shall be revealed, and the flesh shall see together, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken it, for the mouth of the Lord, really clear D there, has and a really clear T. Bass is just yours. This is please from bar 110 again. 110. 2, 3, 1. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken it, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken it, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken it. And a really clear T from both parts. Thank you so much, really looking forward to it.